Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Man United Agenda. It's another PowerPoint show. Hello, good evening, everyone. I hope that you are doing well. And tonight, as always, I'm joined by Mr. B and Amonde. Mr. B, how are you?
I'm good. I just want to talk football, bath time.
Well, it's not allowed.
so we've got another day of your superb productions, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get some good feedback from yesterday. Everyone's saying how good it was, informative, the show last night. If you haven't checked it out, guys, go check out the show yesterday. If you want any more insight into what's going on with this Glazers what's his name? Not Arnold's.
Radcliffe.
Ratcliffe. Yeah. How do you spell Ratcliffe, guys? Come on, I'm getting this.
And you know what? Look, what colour is Ratcliffe? He's noir, isn't he?
Okay, yeah. Good one. Yes, go check out yesterday's show so you can get more of a clue of these inside jokes we got here. So yeah, good one, Mr. B.
Yeah, that was
Mr.
Blanc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, boys.
What's on the menu, man? I want to yam some food tonight.
All right, this is what's on the menu tonight. We're going to be talking about new training facilities, if the Sheik's back in the race, Sir Jim delays, and I shit you not, I'm going to talk about specific forms that have to be given to the US Securities and Exchange Commission. And
Sorry. Yeah, go on. So I'll let you finish.
And what that means for United and the delays and things.
Okay, so that part of it there, that US securities and stuff. If people put 1 or 2 in the chat, do we have to go through all of that?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if there's 1s or 2s. It's relevant.
Okay, I'm winding you up.
I know. The thing is I've wound myself up today because I know nothing about any of these things, but I try and work as hard as possible, and I've had to do so much stuff about this because I think everyone else, all the other channels, all the Twitter people, they're all talking bullshit non-stop, and I don't know if they know they're talking bullshit, but I'm going to do my best to give factual information that I think will show why there's delays and things like that. So that is why I've gone to these lengths. But anyway, let's do some fun stuff for Monday. Women's upgrades. A high-performance training base for Manchester United Women and Academy has opened its doors at Carrington Training Centre. The multi-million-pound building is the new permanent home of the women's team. It's got a state-of-the-art gym, rehabilitation areas, including a jacuzzi, and kit and boot rooms. Only one, yeah. But what I think is quite good about this is that the boys' academy team, so the younger players, also get access to a gym in a separate part of the building. I think that's all really good because we're a community football club and we're including the women and the boys. And would you like to see some pictures?
Yes, that's the part I'm looking forward to.
Fancy. Ooh. Look at that.
Is that state of the art?
I think so. It looks like a sort of travel lodge or something.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's got the black and red.
I like it. I think that looks rather nice. But look, the jacuzzi.
Right next to the change room.
Yeah, and also near a power outlet, which I'm not sure I like that. 5-star dining.
Not bad. Canteen business, Reminds me of school.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, this all looks a bit dull, inside.
Yeah.
Well, look at that gym.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that looks really nice, doesn't it? I'd love
That's where they do the push and pull, don't they? They like the strongman competition. Where they push that sort of static kind of trolley with no wheels and just drive down. That my friend Ashley, he does that a lot, and he goes into competitions. I've tried it. It is really tiring. So yeah, you go, girls, with that exercise. It's good.
No, I think that's absolutely brilliant. Like our women's team are actually, I know they've had a bad result tonight, but they're performing well, and I think it's important for the football club and the community that the women are represented properly.
And they've got
Like,
their own base.
yeah, like well away from Anthony. But onto less controversial things. There's a lot of talk going around that the Sheikh is back. That Alpha that Sheikh Jassim is looking to swoop. And I'm afraid to say I don't think it's true, Amonde. I found 3 different sources that are all saying the same thing, which is that he's withdrawn. Right, Fabrizio Romano, reliable for football transfers, maybe not for business, but Bloomberg absolutely is for business. It's almost like the gold standard. So anyone out there that has seen like reports of the Sheikh coming back, I'm afraid that I'm gonna go through it, and I don't think it's very likely. Not impossible, but incredibly unlikely. So have we got any comments? People want to see more pictures of jacuzzis?
Well, talking about that, yeah, there's a few comments about it. First of all, Andrew Williams, your nemesis, is now your best friend because he's saying Darius was incredible last night. Really made something that I don't give a damn about seem interesting. Vincent's in the house saying Andrew Williams, the referee was a disgrace when that was a goal all day at 1,000 United players in the Premiership, or the Minsky would have red carded. Was there a women's game tonight?
Yeah, I think United have lost 3-1 to PSG.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, here we go. So Rajat saying here, newer paint job, talking about the facilities. Big T saying here, they have stuck a prefab on the front of the training complex. It looks really poor. That's what I thought. That's my first impression. Well, it didn't look too good. The farmer's walk, that's the exercise. Big T. Do you do that, Big T, the farmer's walk? That's the one. And also in that sort of area, you can do the one with the ropes, where you up and down with the ropes as well. I don't know what that's called, if anyone can help me out. All right, here we go. Bart saying here, it's great that the Women's United team is scheduled to get an upgrade, as they've done superbly since the inclusion in the WSL. Also, you should not lose your top players like Russo to the rivals as well. Emma saying here, it's all that new modern building, no personality. Yeah, all this plastic stuff. All these new builds they're doing, not very good quality. I was going to move into a place about 15 years ago. Before I got my place here, I was going to move into a new build. I thought, wow, new build looks lovely. And I went around it, and it just, it doesn't seem secure. And then I found out, well, luckily, because it's near my workplace, but it's just a plastic dump. It's falling apart. All these new builds that you see, like they're building everywhere, they're not very good. Stick with your conventional Victorian houses. With some mortar like that. They're much better. Anyway, going on, a couple more here, talking about, we got FC United Forever saying, 13A and G feeling bath time.
Yeah.
Yes, the work, as I said, and giving you the heads up. Oh, you mean Poorbridge?
Poohbridge. No, well, all of them, to be honest. I'm just stunned at the lack of work that people do into this sort of thing. I think it's insulting to people that watch.
Couple more here. Matthew Bassett, how you doing? He said the Glazers didn't like what Sheikh Jassim said about them. I don't know what he said. Let us know, Matthew. Dave P, how you doing? Took my daughter to watch the ladies versus Villa. Game was great, but we were sat next to a drunk Liverpool fan. Spent 90 minutes bleating on the bar offside. And Jay United, how you doing? Big up bath time, Mr. B. Monday. Everyone in the chat, how you doing, Jay United? And again, FC United Forever saying here, it's on the right, on the existing complex, being already fantastic. Okay, so she likes the complex. She's been there. Big up to Jay, big up to Andrew Williams, big up everyone in the comments, by the way. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, so unfortunately, we're going to sort of go through why the Sheikh isn't going to sort of, that I don't think he's going to be here. I'm not telling you what to think, but you can make your own mind up. So first of all, Mr. B, as Matthew Bassett was saying earlier, there's been tension from the off between the Rain Group, who are the US Merchant Bank or something, who are they're basically selling on the Glazers' behalf, and the Qatari Group. where in February, shortly after the first bids for Manchester United were submitted, Rain, the US merchant bank running the process, sent out a message warning those involved to keep their mouths shut. It was interpreted as a direct shot at the Qatari group, which had spoken of its desire to return United to their former glories in their opening statement. Say that comment did not go down well with the Glazers would be an understatement, according to those with knowledge of the situation. That's from the Daily Mail, and I think that, like, reading between the lines, I think a lot of this was also about the NDA agreement. And if we go back to what Fabrizio Romano said, Sheikh Yazim's team declined to comment on this news, citing confidentiality restrictions. I believe that that's an NDA. So all that they can really say is that we've withdrawn.
Sorry, Mark, what's an NDA?
Non-disclosure
agreement.
Okay.
So it means that you're not allowed to talk about a situation for a certain amount of time. Like, so for example, Solskjaer gave an interview relatively recently, wasn't it? Like a month ago or something. He wouldn't have been allowed to give that interview until the terms of his NDA had expired.
Okay.
And the same will be applicable to all these people. So what else? The other thing that they did that annoyed a lot of people is they bypassed the Rain Group, which is just extraordinary. When you're trying to negotiate for a business, and you're going past the people that are there to sell it to you. So this just isn't how business gets done, Amonde. And then they use back channels, right?
Sounds like football tactics terminology.
Oh my God! I would love to talk about the channel instead of back channels. The space between the fullback and the centre back, Mason Mount attacking it, McTominay defending it. Oh, I can't wait to get back. I can't tell you how tired I am of all of this.
Not back channels, Jesus, guys.
Right. So do you know who El Kahalfi, or forgive my pronunciation? Do you know who he is, Amonde?
I've got no idea.
Is that the Yeah, God. Let me shut my mouth.
PSG boy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So, like, PSG are obviously owned by the Qatari. I'm going to call it the Qatari Investment Fund, and El Kahalfi or whatever is the guy that he's head of like PSG, and he was used as a back channel between the Glazers and Sheikh Yazim, as they kept telling him to to increase the bid. Right, now this is what I want to get to. I don't think the Qataris were ever particularly serious about taking over Manchester United. Ooh. This is my personal opinion, and I'm going to show you some evidence, and then I'm going to give you a bit of speculation. So this all comes from Ben Jacobs, who is very close to Manchester United and an accredited journalist. He said...
Sorry, before you go into this bath time, this is going to have to be good for them to sort of waste their time and put their name out there for so long to say they're not interested. I'm listening. I am actually listening right now properly. This better be good because I can't believe that. But convince me.
Okay. Thanks very much for listening. Those close to the process also stress no new offer was made prior to withdrawal, only further negotiations. The increase in pledged investment to 1.7 billion, this is about expanding the stadium and redeveloping the land, was also not made in writing, with some close to the process revealing the first time they heard that number was via the media. The pledged investment commitment was not factored into any decision making. Sheikh Yazim wanted to specify it nonetheless to show his commitment, but some close to the process maintained this was nothing more than a PR exercise to inflate numbers. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't think that the Qatari bid was ever particularly serious. And this is from me. But do we have any comments before we go on?
You certainly do.
Yeah.
Big G saying, "Oye, fellas, go on, Mr. B."
So if they had got the money, what they would have. So if they got the club for 6 million, they would have pulled out bath time. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I don't think they ever had access to the 6 billion. I don't think they had the money.
So if the bid was accepted, what, they would have walked away?
No, I don't think that they were ever going to be in a position to offer like a price that was acceptable to the Glazers.
So it's like saying Andy from Little Britain said, "I don't want it now." That sort of thing.
No,
I don't want it.
no.
I want that one. I want that one. And he said, "I don't want it now."
All right. I'll tell you why. Okay. I had a look at Sheikh Jassim's personal wealth. How much do you think it would be, roughly?
What
Right.
I know how much it is. It's not a lot. I mean, it's a lot,
yeah.
but it's in terms, yeah.
Yeah. The highest estimate I found was 2.5 billion. Ratcliffe, by the way, is 30 billion. He's the 67th most richest man in the world, according to Forbes. Qatar spent an estimated 200 billion on the World Cup. Like that is a hell of a lot of money. Sheikh Jassim, when he went in to see the United people, he took in an impressive team with some really big-hitting bankers and lawyers, but none of them had any connection to football ever. I went through all of them. There was nothing about football there at all. They had no idea what they were doing. And when you look at Ratcliffe owns his company, and he can get access to funds, and he can take loans out against securities. That's all his choice. Jassim doesn't have direct access to huge wealth. He's on the board of directors for the Qatar Islamic Bank, which is a sort of investment vehicle, but he's on the board. He has to go and ask his dad for money in order to get there. And the fact that he never really increased his offer to anything that was remotely like suitable for the Glazers. He never met with them. He tried to go around like people who were asking for sort of securities and creditors notes and things like that. I think that they were just pissing in the wind. I have absolutely no idea what they were up to, because it's Qatar, it's oil wealth. You'd expect them to come and blow everyone out of the water with a bid, but they never did it. I just don't think that they were serious about buying the club.
So are you suggesting here it's like controlled opposition? So as in, it's always for Sir Ratcliffe, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, but he's brought in these guys to say, yeah, just make out that you're some sort of Saudi guys, a bit like they did with Sam, Big Sam, when he's England boss.
The fake sheikh.
Yeah, fake sheikhs, and brought them in to say, yeah, you pretend to be big time sheikhs and make it up the price to make this exciting. Which dragged us on for a few months until I do get sorted, do get things sorted out here, or to create a bit of drama, which creates money, which creates attention. Controlled opposition. I think,
No, I think what everyone thought was going to happen is that there was a lot of surprise about the amount of people that went in for Chelsea. And it's been reported a few times that the Glazers were expecting everyone to come, like Saudis, American conglomerates. They were expecting loads of people to come, but only 2 people were ever sort of like invited to look at the books, and that was the Jassim Group and Ineos. And I just don't know what Qatar are doing, because everything they did was unserious. Like everything. And I've always been very skeptical about just about them investing into the club. It never like rang correct for me.
Do you think there's any more twists in this story then? Because the day after, the day after all the news came out, there was reports obviously saying it's not over. This could be dragging on still. The Qataris could be coming back in. And it's a bit of a bluff sometimes when you say, all right, I don't want to go out with you anymore. I don't love you anymore. And then knowing that the girls can be chasing you, as if you say that, if you don't give it the attention anymore, they're going to think, oh, they love the attention when you're all on them. But as soon as you walk away, they're like, oh my God, what's going on here? Let's go, let's ring this person again and get them back on side. It is a case of that, maybe. I just don't know what's going on, because it's been like a roller coaster since November, since this was announced. And here we are thinking like Qataris are out of it, but just when you thought it was over, as they would say in '66, it's maybe not.
Yeah, but I mean, like, just look at all the evidence that has been done. Is that we've got, like, if we go back here, we've got 3 different sources, one of which is the gold standard, all saying they're out. We've seen that they never got on with the Rain Group. They use back channels, and now reports are coming out that a lot of the pledges that they made are a surprise to the Rain Group. They never saw them, and it was only released through the media. The fact that there's been a delay, we're going to explain later about why there's a delay. But I don't think it's got anything to do for Qatar, and I feel really bad for all the people that bought this Qatari dream, because so many people in chat and around are devastated that we don't have the Qataris. But I just personally, I don't think they were serious, Mr. B.
As I said, if the bid had been accepted, I'm sure they would have found the 6 billion. I understand what you're talking about, saying that none of this stuff was in writing or it was just verbal. But how is this coming out if there's supposed to be NDAs? You know, this information's coming out, but Qatar aren't allowed to answer back. They're not allowed to speak. So everything's PR at the moment, bath time. I think everything's just PR at the moment. Everybody's trying to save face somewhere along the line. But look, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I understand that they're out. I understand that they're out of it. So it's up to Sir Jim to try and work out what he's supposed to be doing over the next 3.5 years.
There's loads of comments coming in. Just to quickly go through them. Zoe Media House is here. How you doing? In hindsight, says Bart, it is good that the Sheikh isn't owning a club as Qatar already owns PSG. And
shut up, Bart. Bloody Liverpool fan.
He was saying the other day it was terrible that Qatar hadn't taken over. He's such a bad troll, Bart. It's really bad.
Big T said here, Glazers always wanted investment and was never going to go into full sell immediately. Qatar were used to boost the investment officers. Jim is saving us from the likes of the Elliott Group, for example. So Jim is a national hero now. Zoe, I mean, FC United saying here, he said back channel, Papa. I don't know what that's referring to. Andrew Williams saying, I'm with Darius, just through my instincts, no inside knowledge. This is what we have to be using here, isn't it? Mickey Mouse, ESPN Journal, Zoe, referring to one of the journalists reporting the story. Emma's saying here, but who is taking over Jim's shares if he drops dead? Does he have older kids or someone trusted people that are around him that are younger than him? We did just touch on that yesterday, didn't we? Zoe's saying here, rumour Qatar will pull away because of what's happening in the Middle East. The Qataris are playing mediator in the conflict. Montreal saying here, the Glazers are the same as Mo Green in The Godfather against the crook. You need a bigger mobster to get rid of him. Couldn't care less if United were owned by Yazuka if the Glazers got booted. So that's all people seem to care about. FC United Forever again saying that 2 are involved in Ineos already. Emma referring to giving that to Emma. J United saying, okay, I see Bart. Things look grim for United, to be honest. Big G saying here, the conjecture in everything a journalist says, writes, they need to tell stories for Christ's sake. We will never know unless it comes out of their mouth directly. Also, he manages an investment fund. ESPN journals are useless, says Zoe Media House. Emma saying here, responded to FC United Forever, but would they actually care about our club, or would it just be another Glazer bunch? That's one of my worries. She's saying there. Big T saying here, if for whatever reason Qataris are out, it's stick or twist. Give Jim a chance. Give Jim a chance, or stick with the Glazers. I stumbled my words there. FC United saying 60% Bath, but controlling owner over John and Paul. Jay is saying here, do you know that what Big T I'd stick with the Glazers and hope for relegation so we can get a full reset and hopefully they sell and get a proper
I'm sorry.
And bring us back
What
up.
sort of
Question here for Bath.
relegation? Relegation? Are these people serious? Are these people absolutely serious? No, I'm not accepting that. I disagree totally. Sorry. I'll let you carry on Monday.
My dad always said the best time as a United fan was the relegation season.
Yeah. I heard
yeah.
that's what we had a historian on the show once. He said the same thing. When he got
Fantastic.
relegated.
Fantastic for them.
Big T said here, question, half-time, could Qatar have been winding the Glazers up because of their heritage?
That's not a serious question.
Okay. Reports, Zoe Beatty saying here, reports Jim will pay about 1.7 billion for 25%. Our debt is 1 billion. Where's the rest of the money coming from? Most devastated that the Glazers are still here, says Emma Kay as well. Big up Shopping Solutions. Bath time. These are just your opinions, not facts. Let's put it out there. No one knows anything. There are NDAs for a reason. I'm learning this. I still don't know what NDA means.
I thought I was very clear that I said that these are my opinions. Like the facts are on screen, and the opinions are things that I say. Maybe I have to spell it out more.
Elon Musk would make a great Man United coach.
Bart.
Coach, he said, Bart. He's having a laugh. They were serious. So they were serious. They offer way over the true value of the club, anyways, in prices, way over. That's from Big G. What Jay United said here: would anyone be happy with a hopeful relegation one day, full reset? Hopefully, that will force the Glazers out. So that's part 2 of that relegation tip. Shopping, responding to Shopping, Andrew Williams saying he is not saying it's facts. He's saying it's his opinion, as he just repeated now. Big up to Montreal saying should have given enough information to the feds in New York to get an indictment for the market manipulation or inside trading. Joe Lewis Spurs got indicted. Indicted.
He did get indicted.
July this year. So many comments coming through, guys. Keep them coming. You're clear, Bath time or Bay time or Bay whatever. Trolls. Yeah, that's from your friend Jeff or our friend Jeff, as they say in gangster movies. One of ours, friend of ours.
Who is Mo Green in The Godfather? It came up earlier, and I can't remember who he is.
I haven't seen Godfather for years. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Is he the casino owner?
What he's trying to say there.
Is he the casino owner?
No, he's a big time gangster. Probably, I think he was a bigger time gangster to sort of use his name to get to some effect to get what they wanted.
Yeah, and Andrew is right. He says he owns the casino. Not a huge fan of The Godfather Part 2. Right, what have we got next? The Ratcliffe delay. Okay, this is where things hopefully will get more interesting and incredibly specified. So, the Manchester United board will meet this Thursday, but it's been in the diary for a long time. There's no guarantee a vote will take place over the proposed purchase of 25% of the club by Sir Jim Ratcliffe from the Athletic. There remains an agreement in principle over a 25% stake, but still some negotiations on an overall deal, including the sporting control element. Those close to Ineos refute any delay, since they claim there was never a fixed timescale on when things would be ready for board approval. Ratcliffe would like a deal done in time for the January window, and regardless of board approval, it's a 6 to 8 week completion process if all legal and logistical requirements are considered. All right, so what we're looking at here is there's been numerous reports today that there's a delay, and a lot of people are worried about this. This delay could go on for a very, very long time because you're talking billions, right? It's like 1.6 billion, I think, is the latest figure, but that's a hell of a lot of money. And there are lots of key things to consider. When we talk about the sporting control element, the Glazers will retain control of commercial side, and Sir Jim will get the sporting side. But obviously that needs to be locked down in legal contracts about the interaction between the two. Because the commercial side informs things like the transfer budget, FFP, all that kind of stuff. All right, so that's the situation that we're in, is that the board meeting on Thursday, tomorrow, probably won't deal with the Ratcliffe delay. And I'm going to give you some background into the legal issues around the bid and why this delay is probably happening. Okay. Does everyone know the difference between Class B and Class A shares?
I've heard you talk about it, but I don't really know. I think Class B, you said Class B is more valuable.
Yeah, so Class B is 10 times the voting rights of the Class A share, and only Glazer spawn can own a Class B share. If
Ridiculous.
Yeah, if a Class B share is sold to a non-Glazer, it automatically transforms into a Class A share, right? So
Is
Class
that
A,
is that law, or was this something that they did?
it's both. It's like at the moment with the like there is a legal requirement, I think. Like I don't know if it's legal, but the end result is if a Glazer sells you a Class B share, it becomes a Class A share the second it leaves like their person, as it were. Is that clear?
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just saying, is that something that happens in every business? Is this something that the Glazers specifically
Ah,
fix?
ow. I've just booted my desk. No, this is highly irregular because, as you're going to see, it leads to real legal issues for the chairman and things. All right. So the first bid,
I knew it was coming. Sorry.
I knew that as well.
Yeah.
Class A absolutely guarantees the best quality. So the first bid, right? Radcliffe was bidding for the Glazers 69%,
Oh,
and
well, yeah.
so he's bidding for the 69%. He was going to buy them all out, right? That bid was rejected out of hand. The second bid, he basically came back and said that he wanted just over 50%, and that would allow Joel and Avram to stay as minority shareholders. Okay, so he's bidding basically just for the Class B shares. Right, so now we're going to talk about fiduciary duty. All right, and this is where I know, Mr. B, I know. Right? This is the duty that the chairman has to his shareholders. So, when United refinanced their payment in kind loans in about 2010, they were listed on the New York Stock Exchange in 2012. They offered everyone the ability to buy Class A shares. Right, you can buy them. I can buy them. I think Jeff and DK Wilson own like Class A shares. And this leads to a big problem for the takeover. Because if Radcliffe is only buying Class B shares, lawsuits open up to Joel and Avram Glazer as the chairman of the football club, where they can be sued. They can be sued because they're not looking after the Class A shares. They're only concerned about the Class B shares. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So is that why he's gonna be buying 12.5% of theirs and 12.5% of the A's and B's? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is. Because if the board is seen to be favouring Class B shareholders, they're going to get sued, basically. And I don't know who owns I don't know who owns United shares, but if a pension fund owns United shares, they are litigious and they will go at United because the Class A shares have been bloody terrible for like a financial investment. I feel that I've missed a slide. All right. Anyway, what happens now is that with the acceptance that we're bidding for 25% of the club, and that includes a mix of Class B and Class A shares. Actually, I'll stop here so that people can ask any questions because we might skip ahead too much. So, Connor Monday, hit me with legal questions from our experts in chat.
Okay, so still, like, I'm trying to work this out. FC Life Forever saying here, well, if you think our debt is 1 billion, I'll tell you otherwise. That's just a long-term debt account and operation cash flows losses. Montreal saying here, I don't even know what control of sporting operations mean. What can SJR do with only 25%? That's a question.
We've kind of been through this. Sporting operations is anything to do with the football related side. So that would be like director of football, Murtaugh's job, the coach, like transfer budgets, stuff like that. And the reason that he's getting that control with 25% is we think it's very likely that the structure of the takeover will either be an earn out or a put and call. Yeah, a put and call option or a hybrid between the two. But we went into this in great detail over the last 2 days.
Okay, so Shop Solution said, I think we've been taken for a ride. No one knows anything. Zoe Media House has a question. If you were the Glazers, would you take the lower bid of Jim or the higher bid of Qatar?
Just to stop there, Jim Radcliffe's offer was far higher than the Qataris' offer.
It's worth more.
Yeah.
Okay. Zoe again saying the Glazers are a bit deluded. They wanted about $6 billion for full sale. No one will ever pay that much. Big T said here, if I wanted to sell anything, I would take the biggest offer on the day, which is why I don't think the Glazers ever wanted to immediate full sale. And we can't blame Jim and the Glazers for the Glazers staying either. Nope, says FC United Forever. Never heard as they class Jingo. As they class Jingo, as they class Jingo, or as a class. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Over my head.
I'm so tired.
Want to say hi to Darren Tubbs. How you doing, Darren Tubbs? He's bigging me up. That's my name, my nickname, Yabba. And he's calling me Sir as well, like I've been knighted, because I'm a don when it comes to football banter. So go and check out his page as well as Keep It Moving on Facebook. Big up to you. Big up to Richard Sports as well. I'm going to big you up because you are one of my favourite channels. Still going strong. Bath Time, you appear on there too. And it's 10 o'clock, is it? Or most weekdays, nights, 10 p.m. Rich Sports. Go and check them out. Go and subscribe to Rich Sports as well. Bit of comparing Tony Montana with the deal here, because we talked about Class A, and there's a few jokes about that. And a big up to Jeff as well, all the way from Texas. Already a class action standing by.
Is there? That's interesting. Right, okay. So what's next, right? Is we've got to do something. Well, Sir Jim and Ineos have got to do something called a public tender offer, a PTO. And this is where things begin to get much more, like, a lot more complicated. So tender offers are made with the intention of gaining a significant ownership stake or outright control of the target company. Okay? They're time limited, typically lasting for a specific period, often several weeks. Shareholders of the target company have the opportunity to decide whether to accept the offer during this time frame. So what this means, Amonde, is if you own Class A shares, Radcliffe will put out a notice saying, I will buy your Class A shares at $25 for the next 30 days.
Yeah.
Right? This offer specifies the price per share that the acquiring company is willing to pay, and it also outlines the number of shares that they want to acquire. So the tender will say $25, 30 days, we're going to buy 500 shares, for example. Right?
Okay.
Are you with me? Are you with me, Mr. B?
Yep.
All right. If it's oversubscribed, which means that there's the demand is higher than the supply of shares willing to buy, they'll use rules which determine which shareholders' shares are accepted, and you can guarantee that the minor glazers like Darcy and that lot will be at the head of that queue. So basically, we're putting out. So Jim has to put out a contract with a time frame for Class A shares to avoid legal problems. Is everyone cool with that? That makes sense?
Got that part, yeah.
Wicked. Right, here we go.
God.
Yeah. Okay. So because we're listed on the New York Stock Exchange, we have to comply with the Securities and Exchange Commission. And and this is where I think why we're beginning to see hold-ups. So the scheduled tender offer is the primary document filed with the SEC, and it includes detailed information about the tender offer. So this document typically includes The terms of the offer, including the price per share and the number of shares being sought, easy. Information about the acquiring company, its financial condition, and its intentions regarding the target company, easy. Details of the source of funds to finance the purchase, that should be easy. Information about the target company and its securities, that should be easy. Procedure for accepting the offer, that should be easy. The duration of the offer, that should be easy. This is not easy. Do you remember about put and call options that we spoke about last week?
Yesterday. Was that yesterday or last week?
It's all blending into one, to be honest.
Yeah.
But do you remember what they were?
You know, but I want you to explain it now. Go on.
All right. So we reckon...
Short.
We reckon that there is okay, so the Ineos takeover is also an exit pathway for the Glazers, is what is like the sort of the current wisdom, and that is based on the fact that we expect a put and a call option to be put into the tender offer statement, and what that means is that the Glazers, any point over the next 8 years, will have to sell their shares at a certain price, which would be the put, which would be the call, or the put is that Ratcliffe has to buy the shares at a certain price during this time. Okay? Does that make sense, yeah?
Yeah.
So there's a time restriction on all this taking place.
No. This is about the ability for Ratcliffe to buy the Glazers out over a time frame.
Yeah. So they have to do it. If it's a contract, they have to do it within a certain time frame. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's likely that in these options, because the Glazers think that the World Cup in America, broadcast rights, the Saudis, maybe even the Super League, that the price of the shares could increase. All these options will be put in so that they can basically get more money in it. But any of these agreements have to be put in the documentation straight away. So all these things need to be ironed out, discussed, and locked down legally before the 25% takeover can happen, right? And this could take a pretty long time. We know the Glazer family is famously indecisive about anything. So Darcy Glazer could throw an absolute spanner into these works at any time. So I am cautioning about how I don't think Jim Radcliffe's 6 to 8 weeks is anywhere near realistic. And there's more. But should we just do a
Didn't they say like it could take like a few years?
It's just not going to. It's just not going to finish, is it? It's just not going to finish.
We've nearly finished this PowerPoint though.
Wow.
All right, Big T saying, Bila, watch them all. They're great. Talking about Rich Sports. Big up Rich Sports. G Wolf is funny. Like Joe Media House. Joe United saying Zoe G Wolf is an absolute legend. He is, of course. And I just realised he lives near me up in Uxbridge as well. Big up G Wolf. Jeff saying here, that's why I wanted Qatar. They were buying them all at what they were supposed to be a stupid price. Just from Jeff. Big T saying here, don't forget new shares can be created. Mm-hmm. Emma saying here, couldn't Jim just buy 25% of the B class shares and then a certain percentage of the A class shares or some of the other holders as well? And Montreal saying here, in other words, he better show the money. Show me the money. Bila saying here, they didn't sell to Qatar because the Glazers are CUNTs. And Zoe saying any buyer only needs to buy 51% and the Glazers will be out. Obviously, Rajat was kidding about that, talking about G Wolf, aka Sam Wise. And finally, Sam, FC United Forever saying correct bath time as Woodward had to do, but to the UK FTSE.
The FTSE
index,
yeah. Just to go back to Zoe's comment, that you see, I try. Maybe I didn't explain this properly. That that could never happen, because if you buy the Glazers shares, which 90% I believe are B class shares, the Glazers are liable to huge financial, to huge legal action. So you would have to buy Class A shares as well. That's been the big hold up with the delay, is that the structure of the takeover needs to include Class A shares. And now we get to Form 8K and Schedule 13D. And I know everyone's really excited about this. Yeah, shout out to G-Wolf as well. Me and Amonde used to do a tactics program with G-Wolf, and it was both the funniest and most infuriating moment of my week. It was incredible. Anyway, there's reasons why I've put this up here. So Schedule 13D, these are just forms, right? But because INEOS are requiring more than 5% of the target company, they've got to do it. And they've got to disclose why it's going to be beneficial ownership. More importantly, its intentions with respect to the shares. So this is another piece of legal documentation that's got to be filed that will show us the path to getting the Glazers out of the club. Because Ratcliffe he doesn't want the Glazers there. He's made a deal with the Glazers to get the Glazers out, and I think that's something that has been missed by a lot of people. Everyone just wants the Qataris to come in and buy them, but they never offered the money. And then Form 8K is the one that I like, and I think that FC United will also be interested in. This means that if there's any change of the board of directors, it has to be included in the initial public tender offer. So if we are replacing Arnold, who is CEO and on the board of directors, that has to be included. How many seats INEOS get on the board of directors has to be included. How many Glazers are leaving has to be included. And that basically means there's a huge amount of stuff that needs to be ironed out in order for just the initial part of the takeover to go through. Like things like the fit and proper directors test, I imagine Radcliffe will sail through that. But
Yeah.
what we got to do here, Amonde, is that the Glazers and Ratcliffe, or Glazers and INEOS, have got to agree on the price that they're buying at, the price that's being offered to the public, how many of the public are able to buy these shares, if any at all, who's going to be on the board of directors, and what the exit plan is for the Glazers. I think we're in for an extremely long and frustrating time sorting all of this out.
It's a bit like, didn't we have someone quote, was it yesterday, Mitchell, about 5 years? Maybe he knows about it, because he was saying it could take 5 years for the club to change hands and to be successful. In the meantime, what we as footballers or football fans want to know, with all this sort of waiting around and while they do all this behind the scenes, because this is what they talk a different language to us, don't they, in this business? So this is why we don't understand what's going on half the time, and we get duped. So only if you're experienced like yourself, Bath Time and Zoe and FC United Forever, who understand this, and Rebel, shout out to Rebel as well, who kind of get a grip of this and understand the language they're talking, then you can translate. But for us, like myself, and probably Mr. B as well, we don't know what's going on, and we can't make ends of it. And this is what the majority of fans don't know either. This is why they can bamboozle people with all this. It's like going to court and not knowing the law a lot of time. But we're supposed to. It's we on this channel, like, I'm supposed to know the law, so I can represent myself. And if we're going to know about the takeover and everything else, I'm supposed to know this, so I can, explain these things in detail the way you do. So yeah, you've put it. I mean, I must say, the PowerPoint you produced today is brilliant, because I will go over the shows just to get a bit more understanding. It's always going to be there to refer to for anyone who doesn't understand. So yeah, I get it. And I need to do a lot more homework to sort of get more comprehension of what's going on here with the deal and the stages that it takes. It just seems like it's so drawn out. And like you said, you can, hit a few obstacles along the way, but the ultimate goal is to get control of the club and get rid of the Glazers. And if that's what fans want at the end of the day, then I'm supposed they'd be happy with that. But it's just about being patient now, isn't it? And just focusing on football and trying to be successful with what we've got at the moment, and hopefully look for brighter days in the future.
Well, I mean, that's what I bloody hope, because, like, I know a lot of people have responded very well to these, what I consider to be incredibly boring PowerPoint presentations.
Information, bruv.
Oh, mate, like, I'm not qualified to speak on any of these sort of things.
Did a good job.
I'm qualified to speak on football tactics and playing football. That's what I know. And I want to get back to, should McTominay start against Sheffield United? And
we can discuss that tomorrow. And we all know he shouldn't. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it tomorrow. It's going to be good to have football talk back, to be fair.
Yeah. But I suppose what I tried to show in the show tonight is that there's a lot of doubt around the Qataris, like the way they operated and stuff. And I thought that they were never particularly serious. And I don't think that we'll see the Qataris come in for Manchester United. This delay's got nothing to do with them. What it has got to do with is extremely complicated and complex negotiations that need to go on between the Glazers, and there are 6 Glazers. Like, there's 6 of them, and they're a dysfunctional family from what we know. So it's going to be really, really difficult to get a lot of this over the line. But when it is over the line, when that document comes out, we will know the exit way for the Glazers. We will know who's on the board, and what else will we know? We'll know any of Ineos's plans for the future. And it will be a really exciting day when I get my hands on that document. But until then, it's just going to be a lot of bollocks. And I'm so drained of doing all this research. I don't want to do any more PowerPoints. But I'm really pleased that me and Monday and Mr. B have worked really hard. And I think we've given you, like, the highest level of detail we're capable of. And that hopefully you're much better informed about the situation than if you were just on Twitter or watching YouTube channels.
Yeah, I certainly agree. Look, everyone seems to be have a good insight here. There's a question from Big T saying, genuine question, if Jim bought enough shares, would they be taken off the US stock market and put on a UK stock market?
I don't know the answer to that, but to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with this comment there as well. I'm not going to say it though. Yeah, totally. Bath time. Honestly, the presentation is fantastic. It's just like my concentration levels when I don't understand something, I don't feel confident talking on things. You put me. I'm good at talking to things I'm confident about, and this I'm not. And I just don't understand that whole world, the business world, all this terminology as well. It's just really bamboozles me as well. So thank you so much for being the guy again. To represent for the channel. It gives us a lot of credibility to be able to sort of produce something like this. And I hope people will refer to this if they want more insight into what's going on with this takeover.
And also, one thing I'd like to say is that with my discussions with Rebel, who is so anti-Glazer that he just went and cried in his house for a month instead of, like, helping out on shows, is really excited about the takeover now.
Oh,
and
wow.
He thinks it's the best, but it's the best, most likely outcome that could have happened. So if that's any consolation for anyone, I know a lot of you are gutted about Sir Jim.
Fuck no, not a fucking chance.
Mr. B, PowerPoints.
Oh, listen, mate, I'll tell you, I've had enough of fucking PowerPoints. I want to see circles with players' names in, and yeah, just mess. I said I appreciate all of that work. I know I've learned a lot going through those bath time.
Good, because I've got an exam for you here. This is a surprise. No,
but yeah, I just want to talk football bath time. I mean, look, everybody. It's strange how it was happening Thursday. You've just explained this, and now it's like, man, whenever it happens now. There's no point in being excited about something that's going to take months to sort out. I mean, Jim's saying, he wanted it 6 to 8 weeks. Well, by the sounds of things here, 6 to 8 weeks is absolutely no chance. So January is going to be the same January as it was last season. We're looking forward to talking about football, but come Saturday night, we could be praying for international football bloody comes back. You know what I mean?
Oh, a Glazer's gone.
Explain about Kevin Rebel. He's not gone. He'd be
No,
back.
Kevin Glazer.
Oh, right. I thought you talked about Rebel. I might be getting that right. Jesus Christ. You know what it is? After United Forever, always making up nicknames for everyone on the show. And she just calls you Bath, but that's, the thing.
Yeah.
Mr. Pink, all these names. I thought Kevin was just Rebel because he's Irish, like her. Anyway.
Yeah, but what have we got? What are we doing tomorrow?
Preview.
Yeah.
Yes.
Preview. We're not talking unless there's some magical information that we know is not going to come now, because you should have all been listening to Bath Time and no, 24 hours isn't enough. We're going to be talking about Manchester United versus Sheffield United tomorrow.
Have we got any guests on?
Us three. Why? Do we need somebody on?
Well, you did
Are we
message
not enough?
someone.
Oh shit! I think I did, didn't I? Yeah. You know my memory. Well, my memory's terrible, man. I'll find out. I'm not even sure he's replied, to be fair. But that sounds just like me, Bath Time. That sounds just like me.
I'm looking forward to it as well. Yeah, talk about football again. I think Sheffield United, we're going there, aren't they? We were at Bramall Lane, and it's a really tough place to go. Just to throw in some other news as well. There's an article in The Athletic about the best stadiums, and they sort of scored it out of 4 criteria: atmosphere, experience, facilities, that kind of thing. And we were third behind Spurs, and we were above Arsenal. But imagine that we were third in a rating of best stadiums and best experiences. And,
Anfield number 1?
No, number 1 was Spurs.
Okay.
I forget now. Number 2, I can't remember. But we were third, and Arsenal behind us. Anfield was further down. Newcastle were number 2. So Newcastle was best experience to go to a game. Atmosphere. They had a number of criteria, but it's good to see, because when we hear about our stadium being so crap, I think most fans that go there, it's a great experience going to the Field of Dreams, and no doubt about it. So yeah, that's good news.
Oh, I've got something that I thought was quite interesting. We never actually had time to discuss it on the show, but a couple of weeks ago, there was a United. There was a Twitter account that was being monitored by Manchester United because it was leaking incredibly specific injury stuff. Like, everything it said was correct, and they believed that it was someone from the football club. And I'm delighted to say that account is now back on Twitter. So, more leaks, lads. It's called United Insider, I think, and it'll have about 50 or 60k followers. But, well, no,
So
they're saying that Amrabat isn't injured.
Well, I'm not worried about that. That they need to tell us what's wrong with bloody Malacia, is what they need to flipping do. I mean, he's been injured since God was a baby. And nobody knows anything. Nobody said a word. So maybe this United insider needs to talk about that one.
He has.
Oh wow.
Ooh. Sorry. What? Let me just hold on. Twitter X.
It's probably Kath from reception, says Emma, who's leaking.
I love Kath from reception.
Didn't she retire?
Who am I looking for? Bath Time.
I'm sorry. I'm live now. I'm doing it.
Okay, so Malacia has had knee surgery and is recovering, says Big T.
United Insider, is that the one?
Yeah.
Rebel
that
is
was
ribs.
the one.
By the way, do you want to say shout out to Rebel? I spoke to him.
That ain't it.
Shout out to Rebel. Where he is, his village in Ireland has been flooded really bad. He sent me loads of footage. It's really rough, like cars.
Because he's been crying about the Glazers.
Oh god, all them tears. Yes, and so good luck with that with the village. Hope you guys can sort out the floods. It's really bad, like really deep. People were wading through it, sort of like chest high. You know, that's how deep it was. So hopefully, there's been a flash flood out there and a lot of rain. So hope Rebel's doing okay, and all you people in Ireland are safe and well. Harry Nesta. Everyone's bigging up Maguire for his performance for England the other day. Just for that goal, I was thinking, oh God, is Maguire going to get the blame for the goal that they scored early on? I don't know if you guys have seen it. We all came across the 6-yard box. Maguire, they sort of recycled it from the left to right. By the time it came across the 6-yard box, Maguire tried to close it down, went beyond him, and Stones, they say, should have been picking up the guy. Thankfully, no one put any heat on Maguire. But the heat is coming on him because obviously England are looking good. They're qualified now, and he definitely want to be playing in the tournament next summer. By the way, Harry Kane picked his best England side of all time. His defence is Kyle Walker, Harry Maguire, John Terry, and Ashley Cole.
Sorry?
You put Maguire in?
He put Maguire in.
Instead of Rio Ferdinand?
Yes.
You know, I ain't got time for that idiot dribbler anyway, man.
No, that's good captaincy. He knows Maguire needs a boost. Like, I rate that.
Well, suck him off in the toilet then. Talking shit.
The midfield was Lampard, Gerrard, and Scholes. He played a free, and the other surprising thing was he put Sterling in with Rooney and another striker. I can't remember who it was. Maybe himself.
Surely.
But yeah, it might be himself, Rooney, and Sterling. No, it wasn't himself. It was someone else. But anyway, yeah, it's interesting that, isn't it? That Harry Kane would put Harry Maguire in his all-time England 11.
Yeah, not a surprise that Sterling gets in. But did you see that Harry came to the defence of Jordan Henderson, saying that people booing him weren't real England fans?
That was Harry Maguire.
Yeah, he just can't help himself.
No, he can't. He can't. It's all right. He'll get
something wrong with him.
He just yeah. That's good anyway. He'll get his comeuppance sooner or later.
Who, Maguire?
I just want him out. I'm sick and tired of him. I'm sick and tired of his big head. He pisses me off on Monday.
Well, clearing balls from our 6-yard box.
He pisses me off, man. He just, you know what? Anyway, look, it's been a good show. I'll save all of that moaning until I see Solo's 11 tomorrow.
All right. Yes, so we're ending the show now. Thank you very much, lads, for putting up with all these PowerPoints and ridiculous financial documents.
Take a bow, bath time. Our last few days.
You've been superb, bruv. Superb.
Yeah, thanks. But we're back to what we do best, which is arguing about McTominay and Maguire tomorrow. So it's good night. It's good night from me.
Me and me.
And it's a good night from me. God bless everyone. Have a lovely evening.